Hello, lovely people, and welcome back to another That's Liverpool show. My name is Callum, representing Football Terrace on the show, and Team Coppish. Before I get into everything, guys, you see just above my head, there it is, that's there. We are sponsored in this video by Manscaped. That is right, Manscaped. Make sure you groom and keep yourself clean up top and down below. You get 20% off by using the code TFT. So just go over to the website, hit the link, hit the code TFT, and you get 20% off any products you buy. So guys, Safe, Conroy, Drifty, Daz, Jersey Boy, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for being on. I'm going to start on a bit of a somber note, unfortunately, and just send our thoughts and prayers to Alison Becker and his family. His father passed away under some horrible circumstances, and just again, it's another death to another relative of someone associated with Liverpool, and just want to send our thoughts and prayers there, and hope that the family can deal with this privately, but also get over it as soon as, and just we can support them from afar and help as much as we can virtually. But yeah, sad times. Obviously, had the situation with Klopp, and now this. So it's just not good. It's not nice, and some things are bigger than football, and this is one of them. But obviously, we're here to talk about stuff regarding Liverpool Football Club. So I'm going to get straight into it, guys. So Glenn Johnson today has come out and basically said that despite doing an unbelievable job at Liverpool so far, Jurgen Klopp's position as Liverpool manager will be under threat if he fails to deliver next season and doesn't stop the current slump that we're under. So, some very interesting word by ex-Liverpool player. Jersey Boy, making your debut on the show, welcome. I'm going to come to you first, bro. What are your thoughts on Glenn Johnson's opinions?
I understand what he means. If, for example, FSU do get the players we do want in the summer and everything's there on the plate and we still can't beat teams like Brighton, Burnley, and a sixth or whatever, then definitely there have to be questions asked, because we've given them the players, and then if you've given them the players, then we have to think maybe it's tactical decisions.
Very fair point. Daz, what about yourself?
I think it's a little bit bizarre, Colin. He's talking about it before the season's even over. We're more likely, I think, going to get to the last 8 of Europe. We obviously, realistically and mathematically, with 13 league games to go, can still qualify for the Champions League. So I just think it's easy, it's again kind of having a bit of a digger rush while things we're going against the grain this season, and it hasn't been written the script as to none of us seen this coming going into the first week of March, that we'd be out of top 4, our domestic cups. Look, we all know, you've just mentioned with Alison, that with the ongoing problems we've had this season, with injuries, with Klopp's mother passed away, and only all of us known 3-4 weeks later. So I don't really understand why you would say that, the public figure that he is, coming out and now and saying, like, if we're having a season like this next season, because there is still a bit to play for this season. But obviously, come this time next season, if we're in 6th and we're out domestic cups, and if he spends money in the summer and addresses areas we need addressing, and we don't have the ongoing problems that we've had, then that'd be even worse, wouldn't it? So, like Jersey Boys just said there, echoing what he said, I understand it, but just find it a bit bizarre. But it's just my opinion.
Fair enough. Drift, your thoughts on the situation? Do you think Glenn Johnson's got a good point that he makes there?
Is he moving like the Bear X? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out right now. The thing is, with Klopp, yeah, I love the man so much, I'm never going to say Klopp out, even if we are terrible. I'll just internally be very, very, very angry, upset and disappointed. But when you deep what's going on with us this season, I think to make a judgment on next season is still a bit harsh based on, don't get me wrong, we're all going to be livid. If we don't do anything next season as well, as fans who want our team to be successful, we're going to be livid whichever way you look at it. But this season could impact next season. And then can you still blame the manager? If we finish where I believe we're going to finish, which is in this ridiculously dumbass Europa Conference crap that they're about to introduce, yeah? Because I believe that 6th or 7th is a very big chance that that's where we're going to finish. Hendo's out for 12 weeks now. God knows how long it's going to take poor Ali to get over the death of his father. He might not get over it for the rest of this season. I know I wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? So that could be means we've got Kelleher or Parklife in goal till the summer. God help us if that's the situation. You've got the situation of all the players that are already out. Who knows if Jota's going to come back the way he is? Who else could get another injury? We have no idea what's going to happen to this season. But the way it's going, there's a few more disasters ahead. Let's keep it a buck. So if we finish outside Europe,
I don't like tempting fate like that, Drifty. I'm not gonna lie,
bro. I've tried all angles, but nothing works anymore, bro. So I don't really think it matters anymore. Big man thing. I've tried everything, but I've tried superstition, clovers. I've tried the lot, mate. Magpies, free drains. I'm trying it all, bro. Ain't nothing working, bro. We're just jujued out, and there's nothing we can do about this. So there's no point in even worrying anymore. But yeah, if we finish 7th or 8th, we go into Europa League or the Conference League or whatever the crap that is. God knows what are we going to be doing? Playing on Fridays or Mondays? Jesus, I don't even want to even think about it. Yeah, we cannot then judge him when FSG don't get him anyone in the summer because they use the excuse we're not in the Champions League plus a pandemic. Then he's going to be trying to rebuild a squad with no money and players that aren't good enough to be in the squad. He'll have to cope with the mentality of the players who are too good to be in the Europa League, not being happy. Just like Pogba and all those guys over at United, for an example, who were always kicking up a stink because they're not winning what they deserve to win or what they believe they should win. How do we still judge Klopp even next season, even though it will anger us is happening? If you're taking yourself out of it emotionally, how do you still judge him next season? We get no Champions League. FSG probably won't give him any money if we make Champions League. Can you imagine if we don't make Champions League? Like, what's Klopp gonna do? He can't keep making blood out of stones. It doesn't work. Like,
I've not accepted defeat yet, because if I accept defeat at this stage, then I'll be broken completely. So I'm living in optimism and hope. Mainly
living it for me, Cal. Living it.
So Conroy, Drifty made a point that I want to touch on here. He says even if we do bad next season, and he's explained why, he still wouldn't be Klopp out. Are we holding Klopp too high? And in fact, you know what? Before this gets clipped up and goes crazy,
it's gonna get.
I just want to make clear to everyone, I'm one of Klopp's biggest fans. I love the guy. He's my favorite Liverpool manager I've seen in my lifetime by a distance. And I loved Rafa, but Klopp's still the guy for me. But being objective, do we have to take emotion out of it if Klopp isn't doing too well next season?
Actually, I don't think we have to look at it that way. For me, it's like Drifty made some good points as well. It's like it's not going to be a situation where FSG give us loads of money in the summer and then Klopp gets a chance to. It's not even a rebuild. People keep calling it a rebuild. It's more just to build on the players we've got while they're still there. So, i.e., I said it a couple of weeks ago, but the front three, that'll be what, their 4th year now, right? So that's about the accurate cycle. Most are about 2 years. So we're doing well to even go with that. So you're asking Klopp, if he doesn't get any money spent on that front three for 5 seasons to keep the front three and still produce the same results, as Drifty says, you can't get blood out of stone. So for me, I don't see a scenario where, not even an excuse for Klopp, but there's no angle where you're like, well, Klopp's not being supported there. For me, just on a personal note, like because of my age, I completely remember, I was going to swear there, but the area and the state Liverpool were in, right? And this is the thing. It's like people keep saying FSG have done a decent job to a certain extent picking Klopp, but that is genuinely like going into a sweet shop and picking sweets. It's the most obvious signing I think any team's ever made. Like, of course, Klopp would suit Liverpool. I just think people need to remember, even with Benitez, I love Benitez, and even Houllier, but that was more tactical, astute managers. Like, Klopp is the first manager that genuinely, he's brought us back on a perch, and fans nowadays, they get too snobbish too quickly, and they just expect us to be here. For me, Klopp is we have to stick by Klopp in the sense of, I think if Klopp went, I know there's always a question, who else do you get? But I could see Liverpool for the past 10 years were picking potentially good managers. Brendan Rodgers, people look back better than actually defensively. Rodgers was hopeless at points, and at times it felt like laughable. For me, I completely agree with Drifty. Even I think there'll be a next season. There'll not be a excuse that anyone will label Klopp for failing. But for me, I think we've got to stick by Klopp, because I think Klopp chose us at the end of the day. I know I say that a lot, but I think that's important to remember. Liverpool were not where they were, and I think a lot of that, I'd say 90% of it, is down to Jurgen Klopp. I don't think there's many managers could do what Jurgen Klopp did. I'm not saying it's a fairy tale story, but he just for the resources he had with FSG, I don't think other managers could do that.
Fair points. And Safe, you've had the benefit of listening to everyone's opinion pretty much. Has it altered your opinion when I asked the question at first, or where do you stand on it?
To be honest, I'm still in the same position. It's a hypothetical question, and you have to assess the situation when we get there. There's so many factors that go into how we play. Look at this season alone, the injuries, the external issues, for example, Klopp's mother and Alisson's father. You've got obviously the FSG and that sort of spending and everything. So it doesn't come down to just one factor being Klopp. We could be in, let's just say, 6th place next season as a result of something else. So it's not just a matter of Klopp out. However, if we're like I said, I'm a massive fan of Klopp as well, and I love the guy to bits. But if I feel like he's being very stubborn, let's just say we go through the whole next season, like we've gone from December all the way through to February, coming up to March now, where we're playing the same formations, not trying stuff out, despite the fact that we know it's not working. I wouldn't be Klopp out. I will be highly frustrated though, and it's just massively. I will never say Klopp out simply because he's shown us what he's capable of. Firstly. And secondly, who comes next? Because we went, like Conroy said, we've gone through so many managers. Even one of our greatest, which was Kenny Dalglish, which wasn't able to achieve for us. But then Klopp's come in, taken us from when we were sitting like 7th or 8th or whatever in the league, and he's taught us how to believe. And suddenly, now that we've seen the golden light or whatever it is, everyone's just like, well, I want that. And if you can't give me that, then I'm not backing it. So we just got to have a bit of faith. It takes time, it does, and we just need to stick behind them.
Fair enough. I mean, I suppose I'll leave it to everyone in the comments to have their say now. I mean, it is a contentious topic. For me personally, I'm never going to sit here and say I'll never be Klopp out. And the reason I say that is because I've recently said that I want us to move on from our current owners. So if I say that about the owners who fall under the same umbrella, they've been a part of the club that have helped us to achieve the league. If I'm going to have the same energy for players who I think have taken part, such as your Lovren, your Origis, and I've said I want them to move on for us to get better players. If Klopp gets to a point where I don't think he can achieve any more or he can go any further, if he's given all the resources, then I would sit here and say I think we may need to move on. But as things stand right now, Klopp would have to do a lot of silly things between now and this time next year for me to be saying I want to move on from Klopp. Because for me personally, I made no secret of it. I rate Pep Guardiola. I think he's a quality manager. You got your Carlo Ancelottis, you got your Pochettinos. For me, Klopp sits on the top of all the managers in world football. And for us to have that manager at our club is like having Van Dijk. I mean, Van Dijk would have to go on a mad one between now and this time next year if I was to be like, I want to sell Van Dijk. So that's the sort of energy I've got to it. But again, leave it to everyone in the comments below to have your say. I'm just going to bring in Monts now from Big Six Bants. Monts, how you doing, bro?
How we doing, Carl?
Good, bro. Welcome to the show. So, Monts, you've just come on the show, so I'm going to have to throw you under the bus a little bit and ask you a question straight off the bat. Yeah, so, Jota, Fabinho, and Keita are all returning from injuries. Mm. Do you think these three players could potentially turn our season around?
I mean, it depends if Fabinho is going to be in the midfield. For me, I feel like
you've preempted one of my questions there. I'm not going to lie.
Because if he does get to sit in his actual position, if he does sit behind the two CMs, and then we maybe get catering to sort of change what we've been playing so far, then I think I'm more of an optimistic Liverpool fan, and I feel like we can change our season. I think what you were saying previously, not too long ago, was that teams are getting used to us. Teams are used to playing Liverpool. They know what we're going to do. They know how we're going to play. They know how we're going to set up. And because of that, as I said, people like Firmino are getting too easy to read nowadays. It doesn't matter how technical, how good he is. You mark him out the game, Salah and Mane become a lot less effective. You know, when Jota comes in, it's a whole different threat. On top of that, you got Fabinho, who's been playing centre-back all season. I think if he comes back into the DM, it's a different thing for people to deal with from what everyone's been looking at this season. And I feel like Thiago just needs to sit back and almost observe how the team play a bit more, rather than relying on his own talents. Because, you know, we all know how much of a world-class player he is. But I feel like now it's time to, you know, me personally, I'd bring Keita in because, again, it's another breath of fresh air. I don't want to say almost like a new signing because he'll probably be injured next week. But, you know, it's it's something that I feel like we need to add to our midfield now. I'm not tired of seeing the same names. I just feel like teams are making it easy to read us. So my answer is to that. Yeah, I really feel like they can change the season around.
Fair enough. Daz, I'm going to come to you next. Diogo Jota, does he come straight into the team?
Yeah, absolutely. He has to. Before he went out injured, Carl, he was very explosive. He was exceptional, wasn't he, really? He was putting teams in the back four. He was leading the line brilliantly. He was scoring goals. He was having a run at players. He was doing something different. So, look, you have to play him. You do, yeah. I mean, the front three at the moment, especially Firmino, appears to me to be burnt out. You know what I mean? He's played season after season, week after week. He's been heavily relied upon. I've been saying a while ago on a couple of shows that if we drop him a bit deeper off the ball, he's brilliant. That work rate, that energy, even getting the ball and giving it to Salah, Mane or Jota, I think he'd be better at that than just being relied upon by when every time the ball comes into the box, I expect him to score. Yeah, I think Jota, I think it's a good show. It depends obviously on how fit he's going to be. Will it take him some games to get back into a stride, or will he just hit the ground running? I felt at the start of the season he was going to take, I didn't expect him to hit the ground running, but he did. He come back into the team in the season. He come on in a few games, he was brilliant. Went to Atlanta, scored a hat-trick. We all talk on the City then he was going to start, but Klopp didn't. He played the four lads up front. I think actually that day he might have even played Firmino deeper and he was more effective that day. So I think so, yeah. Give Jota a shot. Why not? Get him straight into starting lineup because we have to change something up. We are very predictable. The front three have been, I'm not going to say passive, but they've been very predictable of late. We just need something different. What harm? What have we got to lose now by twigging it a bit, by going with a different formation, changing things a bit more, not being as predictable? And I also think a big part of our game that will have to change and should change from this week is stop over-analysing the game. Stop waiting to give that final pass. Just be a little bit... I think it was Arsene Wenger touched on it on Bein Sports on... was a Saturday or Sunday night that Liverpool seemed to be a bit nervous up front, that they're not patient enough. And I know it was when I was watching Liverpool last season, the season before, we were a lot more patient than we are this season. We're that and that's where we got that resilience from. I just think it's... The front three, look... They've no backup. There's no one keeping them on their toes. We know Origi's not doing that. We know Shaq, Ox haven't been doing that. Jota's going to come in. He's going to keep them on their feet. He's going to be giving them something to play for more. And that's what you need. You need competition. If competition is right, it's there. You know what I mean? You have a much better chance. So the players will improve. That will only enhance the squad. So let's see what happens. I don't think he'll be back Sunday, but I expect him probably be back in the squad for next Thursday's game against Chelsea. So let's see what happens there. But I think it'd be more effective bringing them in, Carl, than leaving them out, you know.
Fair enough. You mentioned a name there called Origi. We're not going to go into it, no, Drift, right? We're going to let that one go.
I've seen a few smirks, yeah. Jersey
boy, I'm actually going to come to you. Fabinho, Mont's touched on it. Does Fabinho come back into the team as a centre midfielder or a centre back, in your opinion?
Midfield. I know a lot of people want him in defence because of defences at the moment, but I just think if you put everyone in the right place, the team will start working again. So I'm not saying we're going to start winning games straight away, but I really do think if we play, let's say Fabinho's fit for, what was it, Saturday or Sunday we're playing?
Sunday, last game of the weekend.
Sunday.
Oh,
yeah,
brilliant.
Sunday. So
Brilliant.
if he's fit
Sunday night.
he has to go straight into CDM, in my opinion. And then you play Phillips or whoever in defence. But I think Fabinho has to go 100% in midfield.
Do you think he'll do it, though? I don't think he
will.
I think Fabinho is his fourth choice centre-back.
We all know it won't happen. We all know it won't happen.
Kabak looks shaky, so I can't see him playing Phillips and Kabak. I can't see that happening.
No. Well, I'm going to stay with you on that one, then, Conroy. So, at the beginning of the season, one of the sort of midfield three combinations that everyone was really salivating over was Fabinho, Thiago, and Keita. For the first time this season, pretty much, we can actually play that as a midfield three. Firstly, do you think that is our best three combination in midfield? And secondly, given Henderson's situation now, do you think that's the midfield three that should actually lead us throughout the rest of the season if they all remain fit?
Yes, Cal, but I would say this point, and it does annoy me in the sense Thiago's a great world-class player, but for Liverpool, he's not done that yet. So if you're judging on performance, I wouldn't say it is the best midfield. Again, it's what they've done for Liverpool, and I think sometimes I got a bit gassed with Thiago at the start, and it's like he is we need to be patient with him. We said it in a few other streams that Fabinho looked massively off the pace when he first came to Liverpool. Like, people forget he wasn't starting games; he was coming on doing 10-minute sub appearances here and there. So I think it'll be patience with Thiago, but due to the circumstances, I think that's just what we're going to have to do. And I think Klopp's just hoping that the amount of games he plays Thiago, he eventually gets used to it, and eventually it's a bit like Fabinho that he comes good. But I think he will. I think it's just one of these with Thiago. We just need to be patient. And I know Safe's mentioned that you go on Twitter after the game and it's a case of let's sell Thiago and etc. because we're all so reactionary nowadays. It is. But for me, I think Bizzle mentioned it a few previous times that we really do miss how good Fabinho is as the defensive mid. We're actually forgetting how great he is, not at just defending, but his passing ability from there, because it gives us another option. For example, his pass to Mane against United last season. So I would say I would love that, but I'm a realist, and I know Klopp, and there's no way he's going to watch Phillips and Kabak play the other day, and he's going to start with that. Maybe Davis is a shout, who knows? But I would say for the rest of the season, I would love that midfield, but I can't see it being that. I can see it being Jones, Thiago, and Gini. That's what I see going forward.
Fair enough. And then Safe, come to you now. Naby Keita. So this season, our midfield obviously have been ripped apart because of our defensive frailties and injuries, etc. We have lacked that player for midfield who can either directly assist or be the second assist to a goal or scoring goals. I think Gini's our top goal scoring midfielder this season, maybe with 2 goals, which is kind of crazy when you actually think of it.
I didn't know that. Brilliant.
Yeah. Now, Naby Keita and Ox are seen as our most creative and attacking midfielders out of the midfielders we have. Ox obviously has had his injury problems this season, but Keita's back now. Do you think Keita could change the dynamic of the midfield, and do you expect him to really grab this opportunity with both hands now?
So, yeah, I've been saying for a long time that I would love to see Keita come back from injury a little bit sooner. I can understand why we waited, because of how many times he's come and gone. But this time, I think it's just been a matter of we're going to wait till he's not just 100 but 110% fit before we bring him on the pitch. And I think it's pretty much written in the stars. Naby Keita has been out injured, whatever. He has his chance to step in, and he's the guy who changes everything for the rest of the season. Despite every time him trying to come in, it's just been a bit of an issue, like with injuries, games haven't gone his way, he's being played out of position, that sort of stuff. He's shown us that he's got quality, and I think one thing we're lacking massively as a team right now is our transition from defence to attack. And if you look back to like last season, our counter-attacks were wild. Like, they were so fast. Like, 1 minute we're blocking the ball off the line, before you know it, we're taking a shot on target on the other end. But this season, it's been very slow in the middle. And I think Naby Keita is that player. If you watch him when he was in Germany, it was very quick passes, usually short passes, but he's developed his game a little bit more. And I met a friend of his or whatever, and he was just saying that in training, Keita was asked to, instead of make his usual small passes, to actually try pick out passes through the defence. And this was a bit earlier last season before he got injured. And it was about trying to pierce the back four, especially against teams like Brighton, for example, or teams that are playing very defensive against us, so we can get behind them. So Naby Keita can link up with Salah, he can link up with Mane. And I think this season we've lacked massively getting the ball behind the defence. That's where we've struggled. And against Sheffield, you know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to play English football against us. They're going to go 4. They're going to just go super defensive, and they're going to do whatever they can to make sure we don't get behind the defence. And I think Keita is that player that if we do manage to lure Sheffield in a little bit and they start getting a bit comfortable and try to attack, as soon as he gets the ball, he'll turn around and pick a gap out so quickly that Mane and Salah will find themselves in a few one-on-ones. And I think that's going to be a regular pattern that we'll see for the rest of the season if Keita doesn't, God forbid, get injured.
Fair enough. Speaking of one-on-ones, guys, if you're having a one-on-one with your partner, you're going to want to make sure you are ready and willing to go, aren't you? Failure to prepare is preparing to fail, right? That's why we are sponsored by Manscaped here. So make sure you click on the link in the description, head over to Manscaped, get yourself 20% off, and make sure you are ready for one-to-one combat at all times, or whatever you want to call it. I call it combat so we don't get demonetized. Now, speaking of champions and Liverpool Football Club, Roy Keane, a few other people, obviously you're going to get your trolls on Twitter, etc. A lot of people have come out and said that Liverpool are the worst champions, worst defending champions, etc. To that sort of crescendo of words. I have an issue with that because I don't think context is put into it. Plus, the season hasn't finished yet. For all people know, we could actually finish second in the league. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but it could actually happen. Now, where do you guys stand on this? What would make Liverpool the worst defending champions in Premier League era history? What would have to happen? So, Mons, I'll come to you first again on this one. Hopefully, we're not preempting anything to happen for the rest of the season. But let's be honest, everything that could have gone wrong this season pretty much has already. So, at this point, there's nothing we can do to affect it. So, Mons, in fact, I'm going to switch the question a little bit. Who do you think up till now have been the worst defending Premier League champions, and what would Liverpool have to do to surpass them?
Probably Chelsea, didn't they win it and come 10th?
They did.
But listen, let me just say one thing before I answer that. This time last season, when we were how many points ahead? I think by now we'd probably just about lost our winning streak to Watford. And at this point, was anyone talking about City about being the worst champions?
They were.
Just want to ask you guys that. Did you guys hear anything about that?
Tell them once.
Because I didn't hear that. So again, I think this comes with being Liverpool FC. When you're the big boys and you're the most hated, people are gonna say the same thing's gonna happen to the other clubs. But when it happens to us, and I'll gladly put Man United in this bracket as well, it's 10 times worse. See what I'm saying? We touched 99 points. So whatever tally we was gonna get this year was gonna be less than 99 points. Even if we could have won the league with 75 to 80 points, it's still a decline of some sort. It's just the fact that the standard of the Premier League, yes, has dropped. And I feel like to win the Premier League, I don't think anyone's had to be at their best this season. However, to say we've been the worst defending champions just shows like how naive people can be. I take it as a compliment because it's like, well, as I said, people weren't saying that to Man City, and arguably they are one of the best teams on the planet, probably with the best squad in the world, arguably. So it just comes in being a big club, and I'm here for it. I'm here to take it on my shoulders.
I like that attitude. Conway, what about yourself, bro?
For me, I feel like it's what fans are trying to do. I was on a show and it was like it was after the Man City game, and it was like you can tell they're still annoyed from last season, so they've got the fishing rods out. They're trying to get you to bite, and see when you just smile at them like this, they hate it. They absolutely hate it. Yeah. And my point is, it's like, do you know what? We're not. What I would say is like fair point about City last year. But for me, I'd say it's the Chelsea because that was the time where Mourinho. But people say, but it was the Mourinho gate. Well, what does that have to do with the price of cheese? Like, these were horrendous, and then your players put the tools down. You finished 10th. I mean, I would mention Leicester, but it's not really fair because Leicester won the league. I wouldn't have a go at them for their next season falling down. Blackburn finished 7th as well. No one's really talking about that after they won the league as well. I just don't want to get into this debate with other fans because all they're just trying to do is get a reaction. Guys, we were amazing last year, right? Unbelievable. And all they're trying to do is tear down the achievement. See, until we won the league, it was, you've not won the league. As soon as we won it, it was something else. The goalpost had moved. It's all it is. And you know what? Just smile at them. Just say, that's fine, mate. It's fine. No worries. You enjoy that wee stat. Brilliant.
I stay with.
Aye.
Stay with.
Yeah. A bit of Donald Glover on me, honestly. Just I just find that it's a genuine question. I get that. I'd say for us to have that, we'd probably have to. I'd say because of what Chelsea done in their season, they just like. I mean, there's the trial as well with the club doctor. I mean, it was. I just think for us, all I want this season is just game by game. Let's get the performances better. But as I say, it's just rival fans just trying to get a reaction. So that's my take on it, guys.
Fair enough. Yeah. Jersey boy. So a couple of people have already mentioned Leicester and Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea finished 10th. Do you think it's more of a positional thing or a drop-off from how good we were last season in terms of judging how bad we are, quote-unquote, as defending champions?
I think we've dropped sort of. I don't think we've dropped that much, but then again, you know, as you could probably see, any team without three major defenders would struggle. If you took out Laporte, Stones, and Diaz out for the season for City, trust me, they would not be where they are now. They would probably be where we are. Because the thing is swap for City. Last year they had not a very good defense and a very good attack. This year they've got a brilliant defense, but their attack is poor. So I think they would struggle, but I think it's injuries, all that kind of stuff. But it's this whole stuff about us being the worst defending champions is absolute rubbish.
It's clickbait. It's just clickbait. It's just clickbait.
It's
clickbait,
all it is.
yeah. Honestly.
Real. Facts.
Daz.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
sorry, Carl.
I mean, do you think it's? I know, Conway, you said about Leicester and Blackburn, more so Leicester. Do you think Leicester are kind of given a bye? I mean, even though they weren't expected to win the league, they still won it. So, I mean, Daz, are we letting Leicester off the hook a bit too easy?
Well, they were the worst defending champions. They finished 12th, didn't they? I think they've only 4 points more than what we have now. I think it was 44, 45. I think it's actually 44. But look, you heard Roy Keane on Sky, you know what I mean? We know Roy lives up to the cameras, he knows we clipped out, they all love him, you know what I mean? I mean, there was nothing said when United won the league by 11 points in 2013, went into the 2014 season. Van Persie was on fire with them that season, and they finished 5 or 6 points behind Spurs in 7th. They weren't even inside the top 6. David Moyes had spent a bit of money that season. I think, wasn't it, Bayern beat them in the Champions League quarters. So there was nothing really made of it then. And that was at a period of where United it was Ferguson's last year, they'd won a title. Maybe they got a bye because they changed manager. There's been a couple of teams that have got a bye. Chelsea, as Conroy said, back when Mourinho was at the helm, they finished, was it 10th? You know what I mean? That, and I mean, what's going in, like, I believe
it's Chelsea fans. It's the Chelsea fans who are saying this. That's the ironic thing. They're the ones saying it to me.
And the season's not over. I mean, look, I don't know where we're going to finish this season. Obviously, that's it. It's a big topic at the moment. It's very controversial, even amongst our own fan bases. Some would be still, well, not some, maybe less than a quarter. I'd be optimistic we can still get top 4. But I do believe our next 3 games are massively decisive, because after those 3 games in a week, then we've 10 Premier League games after that. And our next 3 games, we've had 8 days off. There's no real excuses. You know, we have to change things. But in relation to bad champions, I mean, it's just, Roy has said it. He's on Sky. This is what they employ him for. People are going around talking about it. If he said something mad or really bizarre, they'd still say it. So I wouldn't, as Conway said, I just smile. I wouldn't look into it. I won't have much to comment on that until the season's over. But what is a bad champion? But then, do you want to be a great runner-up? I mean, we finished on 97 points, drew 7, lost 1 late game, and we got as much stick for that. By, it was just our best chance, and what was the only ship that didn't come to Merseyside, the Premiership, you know what I mean? And then we went out and won the Premier League. I mean, you can't have it both ways, you know. You finish on 97 points and you're an unbelievable runner-up, but then you go out and you're a bad champion. It's not much of a difference, really. As Shankly said, you're first. If you're second, you're nothing. So we'll let Roy maybe discuss that further, but I wouldn't read into it too much, definitely not. I just think it's clickbait. It's just a put us down, isn't it?
Fair enough. Safe. Where do you sit on it? Do you think Chelsea fans are just going to make this happen so they can kind of gloss over how badly they finished their season when they won it?
Exactly. And what would they call us? The worst what? Sorry? Champions, right? Yeah, because that is exactly what we are right now. And they're just jealous about the fact that when's the last time that they did anything? Especially the thing is, we're such a big club that they will do any, like Conrad said, they're going to do anything to bring us down. When we got to the Europa League final and didn't do it, it was that. When we got to the Champions League final and didn't win it, it was that. Even after the Champions League finals, they had stuff to say about our fans. And now that we won the Premier League, they still got something to say. No matter what we do, no matter how well we do, they've always got something to say. And it just shows how big a club that we are. Because City, last year, just managed to skip the spotlight. I don't know how, but for some reason, it was okay because it's City. Because they're not a big club that Liverpool are. And then on the other hand, you got Leicester, who they had a freak season, like they had a mad season, and congrats to Leicester for winning the Premier League. But after that, they dropped off massively. But then again, it shows that the expectation for them to continue isn't so high. But for Liverpool, it's a different book. It's a different chapter completely, because we are Liverpool. We did it in the 70s, and the expectation, the way we played is so good. Our fan base is so good that the expectations for us, the threshold for us is so much higher than any other team. And the thing is, look at Chelsea. and some of the other teams that have had 4 seasons after winning the league, they didn't have a massive excuse. This season, we've got COVID to blame. It's a freak season for a start. No fans, and for us, the 12th man is a serious player on that pitch. On top of all of that, whole injury crisis, blah, blah, all these different things have impacted our season massively. If you look at Chelsea, all right, Leicester's was a bit different. They sold half their squad. But if you look at Chelsea, apart from they had some internal issues going on at the time, they don't have that many excuses like Liverpool do. And on top of all of that, they had a worse season. So, and to be honest, I couldn't care less what they say. Like, we just focus on our game. Right now, we've got Champions League potentially, and we're going to fight for the top 4. And we just focus on our game, do what we need to do, and hopefully next season we just start again and just go for it.
Drift, take us out. What's your thoughts? Do you agree with everyone up here, or do you think we are the worst defending champions?
No, I agree with everyone. I think the point that Conroy made is definitely valid, that all they want to do is find another reason to bring us down because now they don't have one anymore. All they used to say is you've never won the Premier League. Remember, we're the biggest club in England, factually and just by just knowing it. Do you know what I mean? But we always needed the Premier League to just cement it. Because for some reason, everyone seems to act like before the Premier League started, winning the league didn't mean you won the league. I never got that logic. You've never won the Premier League, but we still won 18 league titles. Do you not understand? And the thing is, when you hear other fans, like, say, Everton fans, for example, saying it's like, well, if we're only talking about since the Premier League, you don't even exist then. So what the hell are you talking about? So obviously, all they wanted to do is just bring a reason to bring us down. Yeah. We debunked that. We won the Premier League. Now, you've got to defend it. I've never, ever heard anybody ever told they only are good as champions if they defend it. That narrative only started because we won the league. I've never even heard anybody call someone a bad champion before for not winning in the next season until now, because it's relevant to us. So basically, the opposition fans, they're like paparazzi right now. They're idiots, and they're just trying to find us in a hotel room like Rooney with a prostitute. Anything, they're trying.
Yeah, man.
And you know what I mean? And we're not giving them any real reasons, because you know what, right now, all of these things are actually stuff you should kind of feel bad for us. If anybody else's manager's mum died, everybody would kind of have sympathy. For some reason, because it's Liverpool, nobody's letting us like have that as an explanation for why Klopp, coincidentally or not, has fallen off since it happened. We all found out that it was right at the beginning of the year when it actually happened, even though we found out the news at the end of the month. And we've been bad from that moment. It cannot be a coincidence. It cannot be. Anybody who's lost their mum or has a really good relationship with their mum will know you ain't just getting over that. You aren't, and it's going to affect every element of your life. We have been bad from the moment that happened. We were top of the league at Christmas. A lot of people have even we've lost sight of that because we've been so bad.
Yeah.
We had no Virgil from the beginning of October and still were riding the wave and we're top of Christmas. How can you be bad champions if you're top of Christmas when only 2 teams, it was us, which I hate, but only 2 teams have been top of Christmas and not won the league? So there has to be context put into it, which rivals, as I said, who are moving like paparazzi, will never put any context. They won't show why your knickers are showing as you get out the car. They would just show your knickers showing as you get out the car. What about the context? What about the horrible man who ran past and grabbed the person, dragged you, and is the reason you fell out? They won't show that. They'll just show you upside down with your pants out. So you have to put context into every situation. It's straight. Now we've got the situation where our captain's out for 12 weeks. God help us. Honestly, God help us. But it's context. Our captain is now missing. And Safe made a great point that I will say, I know you debunk it a bit, Cal, because you're like, we shouldn't use it. No fans, bro. I genuinely think that might be the worst thing that happened to us out of all the things that happened to us. I genuinely believe it. And I know people are going to think it's stupid, but we don't win games without the 12th man because we're a family. We're not like all these other dickhead clubs. We're a family. We're all together as one. It comes hand in hand. And without the fans, we can't be ourselves. Right now, we're trying to win a 100-meter sprint, but we're in our socks and everyone else has got spikes on. We're at a disadvantage, bro. And it's just how it goes. So at the end of the day, let them talk. Let them talk. How many Champions Leagues have we not won? Oh, closest to us, half the amount we won. Half the amount we've won. Yeah. How many league titles have you lot all got? Apart from Man United, none of you are even anywhere near us. Anywhere near us. So say what you want. You all want our manager, you all want our players, and you all wish you were us. You all wish you were us. You hate us because you ain't us. And
a good point as well on that, Drifty, is that I don't think any other team that's won a Premier League the following season, like we're going into March now, so we're just over the halfway mark of the season. We've had to use 17 centre-back pairings, and it goes back to the old saying that defences win 19. Sorry, okay, even more. So it'll be probably 20 the weekend. So that also alludes to the fact that good defences win you titles. So how can you have a good defence if you've had 19 different centre-back pairings and your three main centre-backs that have been pivotal to your success in the last 2 seasons are out for practically the whole season? So you like that alone will tell you the story. You know what I mean? Without all the other factors.
Can I just say is...
Can you go, bud? Sorry, you go.
No, can I just say as well, just quickly, that I feel, just touching on the thing how we are most hated as well, I feel like, you know, when you're doing the best job you possibly can is when teams aren't looking to better themselves to get on top of you, they're waiting for your downfall. I feel like that's when you've done everything you've needed to do as a club to shut everyone up, because I feel like everyone just waited for our downfall rather than improving themselves as a club, because everywhere else apart from City it's not really happening. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that point forward. Go on, Conrad.
Sorry guys. No, what I was going to say was my point was I was going to say that we mentioned, you mentioned people will forget. See how we beat Barcelona 4-0 and we're 3-0 down, right? You could actually tell that if we'd got 99 points and not won the Champions League that year, we would be reminded of that every day. Like, you could actually see rival fans were desperate, apart from Arsenal fans, because obviously we beat Spurs in the final, right? You could actually see the disappointment, because I actually felt it. I felt we're never going to hear the end of this. Imagine 99 points. It was at that time, that would be the most Liverpool thing to do. You know, was it 98? Was it 99? 97. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up with last year. And we didn't win it, and I was like, how have we not won that? And then you could tell that rival fans were getting ready to jump on us. And then we beat Barcelona 4-0. They're so quick to say, obviously, it wasn't Barcelona's greatest team. Messi's the best player ever lived, right? And if you watch that game, Alisson pulled off a few great saves as well. And it's like, it's just baffling. They just try to do anything. Oh, it's like Barca's demise. That's why you beat them 4-0. Won 4-0 in a Champions League semi-final. Have a word with yourself, mate. Honestly. Baffling.
You know, I think we just need to get Drifty and Conroy in for the team talk before the game.
No, Drifty, to be fair to Drifty, like he'll get it. He'll have a Origi starting number 9. He'll score a hat trick. I'm telling you.
Listen, I'm telling you, 100%.
After Firmino's performances, I agree with you. To be honest, mate.
I would I'd pay good money to see Drifty and Conroy do the team talk. I'm not going to lie. I'd pay very good money.
Pep, sit down, mate. Pep, sit down. We've got this.
Speaking of team talks, this Sunday we play against Sheffield United. Now, last game we beat them 2-1. A very controversial penalty, but we came back with goals from Bobby Firmino and Diogo Jota. This time round, Sheffield United is still poor. We have completely had a turnaround in our fortunes and our form. However, this is a massive game. And you look at some of the other fixtures this weekend as well. You've got Man City, West Ham. West Ham are above us at the moment. We need them to drop points. Chelsea, Manchester United. Chelsea above us. We need them to drop points. Do you think that this is the game that's come at the absolute perfect time for us? We're playing a team that's 20th in the league. Now, granted, I'll just come out and say it. I was on another show. I was on Redmen TV. I got asked what I thought the score would be. I said 1-1. I know I've gone against... I know, sorry, Safe. I just saw Safe's face there. You look like a disappointed dad. What I will ask you guys, though, is do you think this game is perfect for us to bounce back and recapture a bit of form, or do you actually not think it matters at the moment? So, Safe, because of the disappointment you had on your face, I'm going to start with you.
Do you know what? I'll be honest here. I don't know if that disappointment was just because I don't want it to happen or because I believe it won't happen. But I feel like we're one of them teams that kind of, we've always got a script written of some sort. And like, for example, Dortmund, that game we played against Dortmund, it just felt like it was just written, like it was going to happen. And then against Barcelona in the semi-finals, as soon as you got to Anfield, yeah, you're like, I know we're 3-0 down, but it's just going to happen today. And I feel like this is one of them situations where we've had a bad run of form. We've played Leicester, we've played City, we've played Everton, and now we're coming up to Sheffield. And some of our players are coming back. We've got Jota, Fabinho, and Keita coming back. And on top of that, Sheffield are playing really, really poor at the moment. So if there was ever a chance, it's this game. And that's why, like, I just can't see, to be honest, I've said this a lot this season, I can't imagine us losing to Brighton, but we went and did it. But I just can't see us not challenging Sheffield, considering everything that's happened. I feel like there's going to be a bit of a shake in the team, considering what happened with Alisson's dad, and it is going to affect some of the players. I don't know who's going to play in goal for that game, but I feel like if the players are spoken to it correctly, they will use that as a motivation of some sort, that one of our players is down and we've got to work that extra hard to reignite that sort of passion within him and that sort of stuff. And I'm hoping that coming into this game, that there's a big change. And Drifty, I'm glad you're on the show, yeah, because I've said it before and no one ever agrees with me. I want to start Origi because I feel like the guy never gets given time. I know all of you lot disagree with me, yeah? You don't even need to say it, yeah? But he ain't tried nothing different in such a long time, yeah? As much as I love Firmino, he ain't done anything massive for us. All right, cool, he's played his role all right, but he ain't done anything in terms of us scoring goals. And that is what we're lacking massively at the moment. We can't. I'm sorry. No, but I'm not saying like Origi's going to be like the knight in shining armor sort of person, yeah. But it would be nice to see a change. It would be nice to see us not trying the same thing again and again and again, and just watching the same game that we watched since the end of December. And the thing is, all right, cool. Even if the score is 1-1, I'll sit there a bit more comfortably, thinking, you know what? Klopp tried something different today, and we tried this and we tried that. Not trying the same thing every day, but yeah, I can't. I don't want to say we're gonna win it, but I still
we're gonna win it.
This is where it's got to, guys. Sheffield United at Bramall Lane, and we're not sure if we're going to win. Honestly,
if I am going to ask you for a score prediction, I have to ask you for one.
You know what? It's coming, yeah. 3-0. 3-0. That came from the gut, yeah. That wasn't even me.
Blind faith. That's fine.
Fair enough. Drifty, obviously, Safe has mentioned the king himself in your eyes, Divock Origi. Now, obviously, Safe also says some bad things about Bobby as well, but we'll speak about that off air, obviously.
Cal is human. Cal is actually human.
Yeah. I feel like Safe set me up with that one. I'm not gonna lie. But Drift, do you agree with Safe? Do we need to now switch up, whether we change formation, change personnel, or both? And do you think Mr. Origi should be coming into this game?
Origi should have been playing a long time ago, Bridget. Long time ago. You lot know how I feel already, and there's no argument against it now. Anyone who's got an Origi agenda, which I actually am going to personally apologise to Divock when me and him back up, because I feel like to make me annoyed, the agenda towards him's got worse. So I actually feel quite guilty about it still. But for me personally, I'm not just saying it because I like Origi and whatnot. I'm saying it for the reason Safe is saying it. It doesn't make any sense to keep doing the same thing. As the great man Einstein said himself, the mode of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different to happen. Why are we still doing the same thing? And if Klopp wants to play Robert every game, which clearly he does because he's one of his favourites, yeah, then find a new position for Robert in the team, which means it's not in front of goal, costing us chances in matches. We've got a real shortage of midfielders right now. Just do what I said a year ago when everyone looked at me like I was a weirdo. I think he should become our new number 8. I actually think that he would be a very good box-to-box midfielder. It would take the pressure off him to score goals. He's got the footwork for it. He's got the work rate for it. He's great at tackling. He's robust. He's strong. And you don't really need to be pacey. to be a box-to-box player. You just have to have that stamina and know when to make the runs and how. And it's not like he's slow. Do you get what I mean? I think he'd make a great box-to-box midfielder, even more so than a number 10, because I don't even really think he's that creative. I think his creativity comes from movement and intelligence rather than actual passing. So for me, I don't even know if he was a number 10, if it would be the best idea. So if you want to keep playing Robert in the team, switch it up, change formation, and just get Divock up front. All I want, not even all I want for Christmas, because it's spring now, innit? But all I want, is for Divock to be given and know he's got 3 games. Doesn't even have to be 5. 3 games where if he's fit, he will start and he can have the confidence of knowing I'm not going to get taken off if I do anything wrong. Not like all these other guys who get to make 10, 15, 20 mistakes and they still get away with it. I know if I hit the crossbar against Burnley, I'm coming off in the 50th minute. Nobody cares that that's the first game I've played for a month or whatever. I've got no rhythm. I've got no nothing. Everyone's just like, oh, he missed that one-on-one, which he created for himself by closing down the defender, by the way. He missed that one-on-one. Oh, get off the pitch. How does that doesn't make any sense at all. All of you lot probably drive. Have you ever gotten in the car? Well, probably not. I got in the car once and I hadn't driven for 16 months. Yeah. I got rid of my car and I was like, I'm just going to walk, catch the train, whatever. After 16 months, do you know when I got in the car, I felt like an amateur for that first journey. Like I was like thinking, raw, like the clutch felt heavier. I was like, because I hadn't driven for ages. I am an expert driver. Callum, you know, you've been in the car with me tons of times. But for that first journey, after 16 months without being in the car, I felt like an amateur because repetition is great no matter what you do. Even Lionel Messi wouldn't look good in 1 game if he'd been out for 6 months, then hadn't played for 2, and all that crap.
Bad example.
No, even Lionel Messi wouldn't be great on his first game back. No. I'm going there. Agenda is in full effect. I told you, lot, and that's why it is. So we've got to switch it up. We've got to put Divock up front. We've got to drop Robert into midfield, and we've got to play both our centre backs. I don't even care if Fabinho is fit for this game. Put him in midfield with Thiago. Help Thiago by having the enforcer next to him. We bought 2 centre backs. I don't even care if they're not good enough anymore. At least they're centre backs. Play people in their position. I don't want anybody else out of position anymore. It's doing my head in. It's actually doing my head in. And if you want to play anyone else there, put Robertson there and then play Tsimikas. Because at least I know Robertson's a defender. Stop playing midfielders in defence and put people in their right position. As for, is it a good time to play Sheffield? No, I'd rather they were on form and they were flying, because we seem to be everybody's, oh, do you want to do something you're not good at doing? Play us. That's what we are right now. You've never 100%. Won at Anfield before? Come now, innit? Now's when we're giving it out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it feels like. FSG's the pimp and we're just going out there and we're just giving it away. Way cheaper than we're supposed to be as well, by the way. Do you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I don't know if it's a good time to play them or not. No. If you ask me, no. It's not a good time to play them. So God knows, innit?
Never ever in my life did I think I'd be sitting here having a conversation about Origi and Messi would be used to back up an Origi argument.
All I'm saying is there was a game that took place at Anfield. Origi and Messi were both on the pitch. One was
exactly.
Yeah,
Messi was amazing that night, yo. Again, like
true.
Messi, it was amazing that night. You're forgetting how good his passing was that night. Unbelievable.
Are you not trolling me? Like, did you not get together before the show and be like, yeah, we're going to troll Cal with this Origi stuff tonight? Is that what you're doing? Come on.
Cal,
if someone mentions Ronaldo right now, I'm going to flip.
Yeah? All of you, correct me if I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Does Messi not only have 1 more goal in the Champions League final than Divock?
Oh, gosh, I'm not doing this.
Okay. Okay.
No, it doesn't. He's got 3. Messi's got 3. 2 in the United.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many finals has Divock been in though?
He's only been in 1.
Guys,
Just
this is not
listen,
really.
listen. 100%. You know,
There you
Leave
go.
it out,
don't shoot
man.
the
Leave
messenger.
it
There you
out,
go.
man.
Don't
We
shoot
could,
the
we
messenger.
could,
There
he's
you
only
go.
played. He's only played 20 minutes. You know, so you could probably
Oh,
argue
there
that
you
as well.
go. There you
Don't
go.
shoot the
You
messenger.
know what? I'm
I
done
think I
with you,
just
mate.
shot myself there. I just shot myself.
We're just here for the
Put some
statistics.
context on this.
No,
Let's put some context on this. You know what I'm saying? Okay. My
20
agenda
minutes
is
and
in
a
full
goal.
effect, Cal. You already know where it is.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd get to this point, though.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Here for it.
Jersey boy, do you agree that we may need to change things up? And do you think we'll if I can get my words out? See, you messed me up with this Origi stuff. Do you think that we will
The drift
get
effect.
Well, I have to say I agree 100% with Drifty. I think we have to start Origi. And the thing is, I just think that 4-3-3 does not work anymore. It's like going hide and seek, and you keep hiding in the same spot. You're gonna keep being found out. So I think we seriously need to change something. 4-3-3 isn't working. They keep running us out. 4-2-3-1 I think is the way to go. Unfortunately, we don't have the players to do that. I would have gone, if we could, would have gone Jota in the 9, and then, but it's too early for Jota. You know, if we start Jota now, we'll get injured again, and then we're back to step 1. Keita could start, but then again, you know, I think that's too early. I think he needs slowly minutes, so maybe 60th minute we could bring him on, or 75. But yeah, I think we need proper changes. I don't think we'll win, because every time I predicted a win, we've lost. So I think we're going to lose, and I think it's going to burn even more than Everton, because I think Brewster's going to score the winner. That's going to burn.
My heart.
Yeah, just thinking about it.
1-0 Brewster, literally seconds before full time. Brewster scores a winner.
Oh God.
That's what I'm predicting.
Conroy, I'm looking. Back me here. Does Origi start this game, and do you think we get the win?
No, see, as much as we're joking aside, right? I want to make a point before I give an answer. See Origi, right? The only thing that annoys me about Divock Origi is, see if you don't bring him on with 20 minutes to go, right? Don't bring him on, right? Because that's the one thing that annoys me. Like, I do agree with Drift, and I do agree there has to be a change, but I don't understand what he's meant to do in 5 minutes, and then fans see him come on and be like, "Oh, he done nothing," and it's like, that's the one thing that annoys me. If you want to make a change, give him 20 minutes. For 3 minutes, what's the point? For me, I think we need to change formation. Simple as that. I agree with Jersey. The 4-3-3. I don't know if it's becoming an infatuation by Klopp now and Pep Linders. They just don't want to. They have to have 3 in midfield, but it's getting to the point where we're not even controlling games that well. Yes, to a certain extent, but really we're just getting possession, and then the team's just using it to their advantage. For me, I think I don't know why we're not trying a 4-2-3-1. Even if we lose at the weekend, at least just try something different. If you play a 4-2-3-1 right now, I know you said about playing the centre backs. Drifty said that. That's a fair point, but I think you can play a 4-2-3-1. You can have Gini and Thiago in the 2, and then you can play Bobby Firmino in the 10, and then Jota or whoever you want at the front 3. Jota might not start though, so if that's the case, go for Origi. But I think he will start. I think Jota will start at the weekend. So I think it'll be a 4-2-3-1 with Jota, Salah, and Mane, and Firmino in the 10, and a 2 of Thiago and Gini. So that's what I think would happen. I think we need to try something. If we play a 4-3-3, even if we play I'm going Mike Bassett here, even if we play a 4-4-2, just try something different, because everyone keeps saying, oh, these teams, it's like, it's genuinely, these teams, it's not even the performance of the season they're winning games. They're genuinely just, it's simple tactics, and it's working so easily. I keep saying in other streams, like Mane and Salah, people keep having man and match performances against them when they're marking out the game. It's becoming, as much as Salah scored a lot, there's so many games where it's just like he gets marked out. Mane's been very bad at this season, and I know Drifty loves Mane. I love Mane as well, but he needs to understand that refs are not going to give him the free kicks now. He falls down far too easily, expecting it all the time. So I just think overall we need to change it up. Just try something different, because if he starts a 4-3-3, I think a lot of fans are going to be fuming, because I think Sheffield United, the blueprint's there, they're just going to sit back and then they'll just counter. And literally Everton done it within 2 minutes. And it's just like, it's not even amazing play by these teams. It's quite simple strategy for professional footballers. But I mean, that's been 10 games now, Cal. 10 games, and it's like the same things are still happening. So for me, we need to try a 4-2-3-1, a 4-4-2, even something that's maybe. I know you've mentioned a 3 at the back, but we've not got enough centre backs for 2, so never mind a 3. So that's my take on it, guys.
Yeah, I agree.
You're on mute, Cal.
You're on mute.
Sorry, months coming to you. What's your thoughts? You've had the pleasure of listening to everyone else. Everyone else wants Origi to start. I never thought. I mean, Drifty should run for Prime Minister because his influence is crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, just before Mud speaks as well, just one more thing, Cal, on what Conrad said. That I was just thinking.
You want to break?
And yes, the agenda's real. No, the agenda's real. No, it's not even against you, but the agenda's real. Imagine if you're Origi, yeah, and you know that over the course of your Liverpool career, you've substantially contributed to the team and you've always tried to be as professional as you can. And granted, Jota did play exceptionally well in the first 2 months of the season, but you watch him recover from an injury and just come straight back in, and you've sat there the whole time and never, ever been given a chance. Mentally, we're all human beings. How is he meant to keep dealing with that? And then if he is given any random time, perform in that time? Like, people have really got to put context into this situation and think. And I will stick up for a lot of other players as well. It's not just him. I'll stick up for Shaqiri for the same reasons. I was sticking up for Minamino for the same reasons. You're watching other people continually be favoritized or given more opportunities to prove themselves than you. But the difference is Divoc's got money in the bank. So he must really think to himself, wow, this really isn't fair. Like, this really isn't fair. So again, I know it seems like I'm just pushing the agenda, but on a human level, all jokes aside, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So yeah.
Months.
He's speaking facts. But for
Getting
me,
followers, mate. You're getting followers. This is a cult movement by Drifty here. It's working.
In terms of the formation, let me just say the 4-3-3, it's not that it doesn't work anymore. It's because we don't have the centre backs for it to work. You know, a lot of people forget that Gomez and Van Dijk can ping diags better than a lot of the rivals centre mids that they got over there. So, you know, sometimes we just bypass the midfield and the transition's too quick for the opposition to recover. So, you know, without Gomez and Van Dijk, I do think that 4-3-3 does now need to go out the window. But when they come back, I feel like it definitely needs to be re-implemented. But yeah, for me, Mane don't start. Nah, he don't start for me. As much as I love Mane, I'm a Salah fan, but I do love Mane. I just feel like he's just been... Everton, for me, I was shouting at my screen. I've never shouted at Mane. I've never screamed at my... I've never done that before. Because he's been so consistent. But now he's been so consistently bad. Get Origi in. Yes, Jeff, get Origi in. And then also get Jota in off the left. Give him something. You get it. Give him something different to think about. You know what I'm saying? I did say I want to see Keita come in. But I do feel like he's not gonna play. But this is the perfect time to bring him in. I know Matt's probably gonna be happy about that. But if he comes in and puts in a performance, I don't want to see him benched after that. If Keita comes in and puts in a performance, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see us go back to what we've been doing the week after, paper up the cracks, keep going with what works. And if Jota and Origi put in a performance, I don't want to see them dropped. I don't want to see them go, all right, that's your job done. We'll go back to the normal front three now. We've got something coming in off the bench in Bobby, who looks more effective. As I said last episode, he looks more effective coming on. And Mane, no one wants to see Mane coming off the bench. Do you know what I mean? No one wants to see that. So I do feel like now it's just as I said, play the two new CBs, give them a run. What have we got to lose now? Like we've that 2-0 Everton sort of sucked the life out of me, man. I ain't really got much left in the tank. I'm tired of hearing the opposition fans
Tell me
getting on my. I'm tired. Or even on my channel, man. I'm a victim on my own channel right now. You get it, like. So yeah. My score prediction is gonna be I'd say it's gonna be. I'm gonna say 2-1 again because we ain't keeping no clean sheets. I'm gonna say I feel like Salah's gonna get one. I think Jota's gonna get one. And it's not gonna be Bruce T ain't scoring that ball. McGoldrick's gonna grab one because that's just what he does, isn't it?
What is it? What you call him? What is it? Matt calls him?
Bro. Like I was about, yeah. Do you know what? I'm allowed to. Yeah, I'm allowed that for now. 2-1 Liverpool. I'm gonna stay humble. I just haven't nothing left. Yeah, I'll take it away. I got nothing left.
People in the comments, we leave it to you now. What's your score predictions? Who do you think should be the starting 11 for that game as well? Does Keita come in? Does Jota come in? Does Origi come in? It's down to you guys. Make sure you check out Manscaped as well. We reckon it's going to be a close shave this weekend against Sheffield United. You should get a close shave with Manscaped. It all works out, doesn't it? 20% off using the code TFT. Just want to thank the panelists and let them know where they can let the people know where they can find. So Safe, where can everyone find you, bro?
On Instagram at the official Safe, or just search it in on YouTube and you'll find me.
Perfect. Conroy, where can the people find you, bro?
We got it, guys. So it's @_Conroy H on Twitter.
Perfect. Drift, let the people know they can find you, even though they know where they can find you.
Yeah, just the underscore.
We love Origi.
You know,
Origi call.
You in it? That's what I'm gonna. Origi versus the world. That's where you can find me.
Mons, where can the people find you, bro?
It's just right there, Big Six Bants. If you're coming to laugh at me, then yeah, you're welcome, I guess. Instagram.
I like that, man. That's brilliant.
Underscore Montel is also my Instagram. You can find me there. I don't know what it is. And
Jersey Boy, where can the people find you, bro?
Just Jersey Boy, my normal YouTube channel, but for more football stuff, you can find me on Ryan LFC's channel. As you know, I'm kind of the content producer with him for all this stuff. So
I got Ryan.
So yeah, I'm on Ryan LFC's channel. Man.
Perfect. And guys, my name's Callum. You can obviously find me here, and you can find me on Coppish as well on YouTube, and you can find me on social media at Callum Sanderson. So just got to say a massive thank you for watching. Do smash the like button, subscribe to the Football Terrace as well. Check out Manscaped, and hopefully Liverpool win at the weekend. Thank you, people. Till next time, take care.
Stay woke.